Cultural exchange with other species is fantastic. As long as nobody accidentally says or does something that gives the other person the overwhelming urge to slam a sword right through their chest. Luckily, I work with first graders. I say luckily mostly because they don't have access to swords. But I've seen them do serious damage with nothing but their bare hands, so it's always best to keep an eye on them. We had just finished lunch and were having recess when I noticed one of the students, Rachel, skip from the playground back to where she left her toy and then come to an abrupt stop. There were 3 new students in my class with her, Salkinian siblings, who have been doing surprisingly well. If you simply play up the awesome stuff about someone's home planet to human kids, and I'd started that on day 1, you'd be surprised how far that would get you. Rachel, however, was at a loss. I realized the situation immediately, and clearly her first instinct was to be polite, but she wasn't sure what approach to take. She'd left the toy she brought to recess unattended, and the Zalk kids had rushed over to check it out. After a moment of wringing her hand, she walked over to them. They spoke back and forth, Rachel pointing at the toy a few times as the Zalk siblings put the spinning spaceship on the launcher, pulled the cord and watched it fly off. This happened several times, and I finally saw Rachel look to me for help, shifting her weight from one foot to the other, her face pinched with anxiety. It would definitely escalate if I didn't intervene, and there would be tears soon, though considering how it looked from afar, I really wasn't sure how it was that serious. Putting a smile on my face, I walked over as one of the Zalks, the boy, brought the ship back to the launcher. "Hey everyone, is that a cool toy?" "It's awesome!" Kik exclaimed. "It flies! I never saw anything like this back home." "Miss Brennan, they won't give it back," Rachel explained, pulling at her shirt. "We're just having our turn," Leah told her teacher. "Can I see the toy?" I asked, crouching to one knee on the grass. Leah didn't hesitate before handing it over, and Rachel seemed to relax. She's also worried they'll break it. "It is very cool, but it's Rachel's toy. She brought it to school to play with, and you didn't ask permission. You just grabbed it as soon as she left it." "But she was done," Kik protested. "It's sharing. You said we're supposed to share." "Right," I said. Pausing, I looked to Rachel and then to the siblings. "And what is sharing?" Hiv finally spoke up. "Sharing is making sure everyone can have a turn," she stated. I think I see the trouble here," I said, squinting for a moment in mock concentration. "Rachel, what do you think sharing is?" Rachel hesitated, and I knew she was confused. This was an easy question, and the other kids had just answered it, it seemed. "Sharing is letting someone else have a turn with your toy," she said slowly. "Or like giving a piece of chocolate to your friend." "All right, so you both have different definitions." "What?" Rachel asked, glancing to the siblings and then to me. "No, sharing is sharing." "This is one of those little things," I said, emphasizing the words in the same way I had when introducing the kids to the class. "And because I am the teacher and I know everything," I exclaimed, producing glares and dry looks on my students, "I think I know why. So, Hiv, including Leah and Kik, how many brothers and sisters do you have?" 22, he replied easily. "What?" Rachel shrieked. 2 of them flinched in surprise. "How do you have that many? How old are they?" We got 3 who are in another class," Hiv started, folding his fingers together and fidgeting. "Hikral's first brood are 2 years older than us. Her second is 3 years younger, and my brood mother also has a brood that are 5 years older than us." Rachel's eyes couldn't possibly widen any further, and it was delightfully comical. I grinned. "Rachel, you know how humans usually have 1 baby, sometimes 2, and more is rare?" She nodded rapidly. "Salkinians usually have 5 or 6 at a time, and they have 2 mums and 2 dads." The girl gaped at me, and then looked back to her classmates. "Holy cow! How do you all fit in your house?" she asked, flabbergasted. We got a big house," Hiv said, motioning with his hands. How many siblings do you have? I don't have any, Rachel told them. My mummy and daddy just wanted one baby. The three siblings were struck speechless for a long moment. But who do you play with? Liv cried. Who helps you with stuff and you sleep in a room all alone? See, this is what I mean, I told them. Little things like having siblings make so many things different. When Rachel is at home, I said, motioning with the toy, like other humans, she'll play with her toys and have friends come over to play with her and she'll share with them, because that can be more fun. When Hiv and Leah and Kik are at home, all the toys belong to everyone, because if they didn't, everyone would fight all the time, right? The Zalks nodded. So if you see a toy you want to play with, you just do? Rachel asked. You don't have to ask permission? There's no one to ask. It's everyone's toy, Kik told her. But Mama and Papa taught us to share. I can't play with the Balka ball for an hour all by myself, even if I want to. That's mean. Rachel's face twisted curiously. I saw the brain cells working overtime, and it was so sweet. So, you three have to understand a human toy is theirs, and you need to ask permission to play with it, or that's rude. I explained. Maybe Rachel really wanted to play with this one toy for the whole recess. That's allowed. Or, if you told her how excited you were, and you thought it was awesome, and promised to be careful not to break it, she'd be happy to let you play with it the whole time until we go back inside. It's just her choice. Okay, Kik said quietly. We wouldn't break it. We'd be so careful, Leah said, looking to Rachel. We don't... She paused, gathering her thoughts. If we break a toy because we weren't careful, we get punished. Rachel blinked and stared. Because now no one can play with it, and there's just one of you, but there are many of us. Every toy is important. Which actually means they're super trustworthy if they want to borrow a toy, I pointed out to Rachel. Yeah, she murmured. Rachel grinned suddenly, taking the toy from my hands and handing it over. You guys go play. I'll watch. They chitted excitedly. Thank you. They walked a few yards away before they set it and pulled the string to make it take off. I smiled after them. Miss Brennan? Yes, I asked, looking to Rachel. I've got a lot of toys, and sometimes my mummy helps me put things I don't play with anymore in a box to give to other kids. Could I bring in some toys for Kik and Leah and Hiv? That is very thoughtful of you, I said, smiling proudly. You ask your parents when you get home, okay? 'Kay. Rachel stared at the other kids, who were getting the hang of pulling the string just right to get it to fly higher, and beamed at the sight of them having fun.